It kind of happened really organically, really like spontaneously.
It's not just going in there and making a noise, folks.
The Classic Rock Files with Kelly Parker.
Brian May says he's angry after a bunch of his precious belongings were ruined after his home in London in the Kensington area was flooded. Apparently there were flash floods in London on Monday with intense downpours happening there. We could use some of that here, but that's what happened in London. And Brian May said he came home from a day out to, quote, horror in our house. He posted the details on Instagram along with some video if you want to check that out. He said the whole bottom floor had been inundated with raw sewage overflow, which has covered our carpets, rugs, all kinds of precious, to us, things in a stinking sludge. He said it's disgusting and actually quite heartbreaking. It feels like we were invaded, desecrated. He and his wife, Anita Dobson, had, quote, a lifetime of memorabilia on the floor of our basement. Most of it is sodden and ruined. He says, I'm devastated. This stuff is only things, but it feels like Back to the Future. When the photograph fades, feels like a lot of my past has been wiped out. Sad to see that. And boy, the video is not cool. Check it out on Instagram, Brian May. Still with Brian May, what would Freddie Mercury be doing if he were still with us? These days, of course, Brian May and Roger Taylor carry on the group's spirit with Adam Lambert in concerts, but Brian May said in a new interview that he figures it'd be a whole different ballgame if Freddie hadn't died in 1991.
I think he would still have been pretty great. Yeah, he took care of himself. He was such a physically highly, what's the word? He exercised, he took care of himself. It's such a tragedy that disease took hold of him and destroyed his body. I often think if Freddie had been around now, then we would still be doing it together, I'm sure. And he would still be saying, no, I need to do my solo stuff. But he would be coming back to the family to do what we do. And, the funny thing is I feel more and more that he is kind of with us in a way. Maybe I'm getting to be an old romantic, but Freddie's in my day every day. He's always in my thoughts, and I can always kind of feel what he would be saying in a certain situation. You're like, what would Freddie think? Oh yeah, he'd probably like this. He'd laugh at this or whatever. And he's so much a part of the legacy that we created that will always be the case. You never finished grieving if you lose like a family member, and Freddie was a family member, but you get to the point where you're at peace and you think, my God, the guy had a great life. We created wonderful stuff together, which is still making people happy. So there's an acceptance there and a joy that actually it all happened. How amazing it happened.
I think maybe one of the things that's so appealing about Queen still and makes them so legendary still is the positivity of the band, the joy around the band, and that attitude as exemplified by what Brian May was saying at the end of that clip. Okay, finally, Poison drummer Ricky Rocket has tested positive for the COVID despite having previously been vaccinated twice. He took to social media to share his experience and to offer advice.
I have COVID. I'm not the only one in my family now. Everybody has it. Guess what? I'm vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated, and I've been vaccinated for months. I don't know if this is a Delta variant, but every physician I've spoken to said it has every hallmark of being the Delta variant. Call all my doctors. I have a couple of them. And they're like, you should do good through this because you're vaccinated, but you're not out of the woods. So I immediately quarantined. You're probably thinking to yourself, okay, vaccinated and you still got COVID. Do you feel like an idiot for getting vaccinated? No. The reason I don't feel that way is because I know that this would be way worse, especially if it was a Delta variant. And I'm pretty sure. I'm going to get it DNA sequenced to make sure. And that would completely devastate me if I hadn't had the vaccine. It's no fun, but it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I'm not on a respirator. My doctor told me yesterday, I'm pretty convinced you're out of the woods.
Good news for him and his family. That is the Classic Rock Files.